In a remote corner of the world, there lies an island unlike any other on Earth. An island that seems to be completely alien to the planet. This is Socotra. And it's not just an island, it's an unsolved natural puzzle. Socotra Island, a place so alien, scientists even call it a mini-planet on Earth. In this video, we'll reveal 7 of the most surprising facts about Socotra, from trees that weep blood, animals and plants found nowhere else, to the geopolitical conflicts hidden beneath its beauty. Is Socotra really part of Earth, or the remnant of another forgotten world? Watch until the end, because fact number 1 will send shivers down your spine and make you wonder, do we really know what's inside our own planet? Fact 7. Dragon Blood Tree. Keeper of nature's secrets. Imagine a tree standing in the middle of a barren land. It's shaped like a giant mushroom reaching for the sky. But that's not what makes it extraordinary. When you heard it, it weeps blood. This is Dracaena cinnabari, also known as the dragon's blood tree. An ancient plant that grows only in one place in the world, Socotra Island, Yemen. Not in Africa, not in Asia, only here, on an island seemingly cut off from Earth's evolution. Its sap is a deep red, resembling fresh blood. Since ancient times, this resin has been used as medicine, dye, perfume, and even as an ingredient in mystical rituals. The ancient Romans and Egyptians called it dragon's blood, a symbol of power and healing, but also a curse. This tree isn't just unique in form. Its broad, umbrella-like crown traps sea fog and dew, then drips water onto the dry ground below. It creates a microhabitat that supports dozens of other endemic species. It's more than just a tree. It's a pillar of an ecosystem. The dragon's blood tree can live up to 650 years and is estimated to have existed for 50 million years. It's a living relic from a time when the Arabian Peninsula was covered in tropical vegetation. It's a silent witness to a lost world. But now, this tree is threatened with extinction. Climate change, tropical storms, and feral goats that destroy its young seedlings make regeneration nearly impossible. Its population is aging and could disappear within a single generation. So the question is no longer whether this is the tree of life or the tree of curse, but will we let it disappear, along with the secrets we have yet to understand?
Fact 6. A mini-planet on Earth. Imagine an island separated from the mainland for millions of years, isolated, untouched, and left to evolve at its own pace. The result? A world that doesn't resemble Earth, but is nonetheless within it. This is Socotra, an island dubbed the Galapagos of the Indian Ocean. But even the Galapagos aren't quite this unique. Here, 90% of the reptile species are found nowhere else. They're not just rare, they're exclusive. Like the Socotrine lizard that changes color depending on the temperature of the soil, or the tiny snake that lives in rock crevices and is only active when dew falls. Over 95% of Socotra's land snails are endemic. Their colors are striking, their shapes unusual. Some are transparent, others are patterned like gemstones. They're not just snails, they're works of biological art. The plants are equally astonishing. Of the 825 plant species, about 37% grow only on Socotra. Some resemble tentacles, some spiral, and some bloom only once every 10 years. They grow in nearly waterless soil, yet they survive and thrive. Scientists call Socotra an open-air laboratory of evolution. Here, natural selection operates without human intervention. No mass agriculture, no urbanization, just nature and time. Every corner of the island holds a surprise. A lizard never before recorded. A flower that blooms only during a full moon. An insect that lives inside a tree trunk and never comes out. Socotra is a biological puzzle yet to be pieced together. And most amazingly, all this is happening on one small, isolated island in the middle of the ocean. It's as if nature is saying, this is the beta version of life. Don't disturb it. Fact 5. A paradise for rare birds. In a place far from the hustle and bustle of the world, there's a natural stage that's never empty of song. Socotra, an island that not only holds botanical wonders, but also serves as a final symphony for rare birds. There are 192 recorded bird species that call Socotra home, a stopover, or a final base before disappearing into history. Of those, 44 breed here, and 85 more come regularly as permanent migrants. They're not just visitors, they're part of the island's soul. One of them is the Socotra starling, a glossy black bird with fiery red wings that you can only see here. It perches on steep cliffs, feeds on the fruit of the dragon's blood tree, and spreads the seeds of life. But its habitat is shrinking, and its song may become a distant memory. There's also the Socotra pipit, tiny and inconspicuous, yet a symbol of resilience. It lives in the dry scrub, surviving the harsh climate. This finch has even sparked scientific debate because of its inexplicable uniqueness. On the coast, the Socotra cormorant dives among the coral, and the Socotra sunbird dances among the endemic flowers. They have evolved over thousands of years, forming an inextricable link with the island's ecosystem. However, the threat comes not from nature, but from humans. Climate change, land exploitation, and vegetation loss have placed many of Socotra's bird species on the conservation red list. They are threatened, and we may be witnessing the final chapter of their story. Socotra is not just a home for these birds. It is a living archive, a place where evolution writes poetry in feathers and voices. If they disappear, a verse of nature's poetry will be erased forever. Fact 4. Socotra Island, the hideout of the Dajjal. In the middle of the Indian Ocean stands an island that holds not only biological oddities, but also spiritual rumors that have shaken the faith of many. Socotra Island, a place that some scholars and researchers claim is the hideout of the Dajjal before the end of time. The long history of the Dajjal, a creature of the end times who is a sign of the approaching apocalypse, has been mentioned in various hadiths. One of the most famous stories comes from the Prophet's companion, Tamim al-Dari, who claimed to have been stranded on a remote island and encountered a tall, shackled figure. The figure claimed to be the Dajjal. When Tamim recounted his story to the Prophet Muhammad, he pointed east to the seas of Yemen, and that's where Socotra is located. The island, located 380 kilometers south of the Arabian Peninsula, is surrounded by sharp coral reefs and wild waves. It's so isolated that most of its species are found nowhere else, an island whose landscape resembles another world, dry, desolate, and teeming with unusual life forms. Dragon's blood trees with their blood-red sap grow here. Frankincense forests emit a sharp, piercing aroma. Locals even refer to several caves and valleys as no-go places because they are believed to harbor inexplicable energies. Although there is no authentic evidence that directly mentions Socotra, many researchers and authors on the end of times, such as Zulkifli Muhammad al-Bahri, have named this island as a strong candidate for the hideout of the Dajjal, not because of physical evidence, but because of its strangeness that cannot be explained by ordinary logic. Is this just a myth, or is nature truly hiding something beneath the cliffs and mists of Socotra? We may never know, but one thing is certain. Socotra is no ordinary island. It holds more than just flora and fauna. It holds profound questions about the future of humanity.
Fact 3. Unpredictable climate. Imagine an island that wakes up to clear skies in the morning, then is shrouded in thick fog by midday, and then by nightfall is battered by a tropical storm. This is Socotra, an island whose mood is unpredictable. It's as if it has emotions of its own. Scientifically, Socotra is categorized as having a semi-desert and tropical dry climate, according to the Köppen classification. But the reality is far more complex. On the one hand, the average temperature hovers around 25 degrees Celsius, warm enough for life to thrive. But on the other hand, rainfall in the mountains can reach 800 millimeters per year, especially during the northeast monsoon season from October to December. The Aguirre Mountains, which rise in the center of the island, are at the center of this weather drama. Thick fog often descends without warning, creating an otherworldly landscape. On its slopes, dew and rain nourish vegetation that cannot thrive in the lowlands. However, don't be fooled by the mild moments. On the coastal plains, the heat can be so intense that the sand glistens like molten metal. Dry winds blow in from the Arabian desert, bringing dust and extreme temperatures that can burn the skin. And when a storm comes, Socotra transforms completely. The sky blackens, the waves rage, and the wind screams like the howl of a primordial creature. In a matter of hours, a tranquil island can transform into nature's battlefield. Socotra's climate is more than just weather. It's a character, sometimes gentle, sometimes brutal. It doesn't follow a pattern, it creates its own. And precisely because of its unpredictability, life on this island thrives in ways found nowhere else. Perhaps that's why Socotra is so unique, because nature here doesn't obey rules, it writes new ones. And we, the only ones left to watch.
Fact 2. Power struggle on a remote island. Behind the exotic landscapes and ancient flora lies a dark chapter that the world rarely highlights. Socotra is not just an island of wonder, it's also a battleground for global influence. In 2018, the world was shocked by the United Arab Emirates' move to deploy military forces to Socotra. 4 planes landed without official permission, carrying over 100 heavily armed soldiers. They didn't arrive as guests, they arrived as new rulers. The island, which had been administered by Yemen for more than 2 centuries, suddenly underwent a transformation. The UAE flag flew over government offices. Images of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Zayed adorned the main streets, and the main airport was reportedly taken over by Yemeni troops. Why Socotra? The answer isn't just its natural beauty. The island lies on a strategic shipping lane between the Arabian Sea and the Indian Ocean. It's a key hub for international trade, maritime surveillance, and geopolitical expansion. Whoever controls Socotra controls the sea gateway to Asia and Africa. The UAE allegedly leased Socotra and its neighboring island, Abd al-Khoury, for 99 years. They built military installations, established prisons, and trained local militias that refused to submit to the Yemeni government. They were even said to have connections with the separatist Southern Transitional Council, which wants to secede from Yemen. For local residents, this was more than just intervention. It was a violation of sovereignty. Hundreds took to the streets, shouting support for a united Yemen. but their voices were drowned out by the larger regional conflict. Socotra now stands at the crossroads of conservation and power. On the one hand, it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. On the other, it has become a pawn in the chess game of Middle Eastern politics. And we, as spectators, can only ask, is natural beauty strong enough to withstand human ambition?
Fact 1. The most alien place on planet Earth. If there is a place on Earth that makes you wonder, am I still on the same planet? Then it's Socotra. This island isn't just remote. It's been biologically and geologically isolated for millions of years. The result? Evolution operates by different rules. It's as if nature is repainting life with a brush we've never seen before. About 30% of Socotra's 825 plant species are found nowhere else in the world. They grow in unusual shapes. Some resemble tentacles, some resemble alien antennae, and some can't be classified into any common plant family. The dragon's blood tree, which looks like a giant mushroom from another planet, is just the beginning. There's also the Socotra desert rose, a plant with a bloated, bottle-like trunk and bright red flowers that blooms in the middle of the desert. It looks like a living creature, watching us, silently. The soil is red, the sand is crystal white, and the sky is often shrouded in a sudden mist. In places, the landscape resembles the surface of Mars, dry, rocky, and desolate. But beneath that silence, life pulsates in inexplicable ways. Scientists call Socotra the Galapagos of the Indian Ocean. But even the Galapagos aren't quite this strange. Here, every species is the result of a unique natural experiment. They are born, grow, and survive only here. It's no wonder that many call Socotra an alien island. Not because there are UFOs, but because its strangeness transcends the limits of our understanding of Earth. If extraterrestrials ever landed, they probably wouldn't choose New York or Tokyo. They'd choose Socotra, a place that needs no explanation, because it's already enough of a mystery. And that mystery continues, because to this day, there are still corners of Socotra unexplored. There are still species unnamed. There are still secrets undiscovered. Socotra is more than just an island. It's a mystery, a wonder, and a reminder that Earth still holds secrets we haven't yet understood. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video, because the world needs to know that Socotra is real.